Greetings and welcome back. This is Section 9 of the N1IR Technician License Class, Element 2. This is the emergency. Section 9, Emergency. Hey, an accepted practice to get immediate attention of a net control station when reporting an emergency, beginning your transmission by saying priority or emergency followed by your call sign. An accepted practice for an amateur operator who has checked into an emergency traffic net is to remain on frequency without transmitting until asked to do so by the net control station. So if you have an emergency and there's a net going on, you can break in and say priority or emergency, and they're going to instantly get back to you and say go ahead. Once you've checked your emergency traffic in, you got to stay on the frequency. Do not transmit until asked to do so, so you don't accidentally transmit at the same time. There are never a situation where the FCC rules do not apply to the operation of an amateur station. So the rules still stay in effect even though there is an emergency. Okay, RACES, Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Services, is a radio service using amateur frequencies for emergency management or civil defense communications. Radio service using amateur stations for emergency management or civil defense communications. An emergency services using amateur operator certified by civil defense organizations as being enrolled in that organization. All these choices are correct. Okay, licensed amateur who have volunteer registered for qualifications and equipment for communication duty and public service are members of the ARES, Amateur Radio Emergency Services. So we have two groups, ARES and RACES. Both RACES and ARES organization may provide communication during an emergency. Amateur stations control operators are permitted to operate outside the frequency privileges of the license class, but only in necessary situation involving immediate safety, human life, or protection property. So this is the one exception where you can go outside your frequency privileges for the immediate safety, human life, protection of property. The preamble and format traffic message contains information needed to track the message as it passes through the amateur radio traffic handling system. So we have a traffic handling system that can go worldwide, anywhere. It doesn't have to be an emergency, it can be any time. And you can pass along these radiograms via nets. And you have a radiogram, and you're limited to 25 words. And you can send it to pretty much anywhere in the world. I've sent some to my cousin over in Afghanistan, and the radiogram gets through while other communications does not. He doesn't have a phone nearby. He's out in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea where he is, but I send one of these radiograms and it goes through, and they actually find him and give him the radiogram. So it's a pretty cool system. And again, these you can use this in everyday situation or emergency traffic situations. Characteristics of a good emergency traffic handling passing messages exactly as received. To ensure that voice message traffic containing proper names or unusual words are copied correctly by the receiving station, such words as terms should be spelled out using standard phonetic alphabet. The term check in reference to a formal traffic message is the count or number of words or words equivalent in the text portion of the message. So if you have a check of 20, you know that there's going to be 20 words in there. And that's the end of the emergency part of the lecture. And we're going to go on to the Q&A next.